Yeah, yeah.
All right, what's happening, people? Welcome back to the Brothers Geek Out channel. This is Fight Talk with the BMAs, and I'm joined by my boy, as always, K West, who is in Thailand. Which part of Thailand are you in now, bro?
I'm in Nakhon Ratchasima, which is about 3 hours from Bangkok.
Okay, what is that, north?
Ratchasima.
Is that more north? Southeast?
Mm, it's like north of Bangkok. So I came
Okay,
from Chiang Mai, which is like up, what's that, northeast? So I was up
okay.
here. And then I came all the way down past Bangkok into, well, down and then to the right. And now I'm in Nakhon Ratchasima.
Okay,
Ratchasima, sorry.
what brought you to this part of Thailand? Is it a different part of the course you're trying to learn, or?
Yeah, just some job opportunities that have come up. So I've come to like because I only have about what's today's date? Today's date is the
17th?
17th. So I've got a few weeks left. So I'm just trying to tie up some loose ends and then finally get to the damn beach, man. I've been to the beach the whole time I've been here. I've been, just in the towns and stuff. So gonna go and like snoop some of these offers that's come up or potential offers and then go to the beach and then come back to London.
All right, well, that's that part. So let's forget about that part until it actually
For
becomes a reality.
now.
Mm,
For now. For
yeah.
now.
All right, it's
But
good. It's
yeah,
always
man.
good to come back to and get a reality check. You know what I mean? Like that you could use it as a reality check of
Yeah.
like, all right, well, this is what life could be in London, or this is what life is in London.
Well, I already
Maybe,
know what that is. I don't need reminding of that shit.
yeah,
I
that's
already
true.
know.
That's
That's
true.
why like, people are here enjoying themselves and this and that. And I'm doing that too, but I'm like, all right, let me go and see what you can offer me. Let me see what this opportunity looks like. That's why I'm doing the hard grafting now. And there's a lot more to do, of course, but it's a different trip for me. So I'm like, let me see if I can actually do something
All
and
right.
sustain myself here. So it's different.
How how's the recovery going, man? Because I think that's something that we spoke about last week, just to give everyone the update.
Yeah.
How's the recovery going on your leg and everything?
Well, I think I was doing the wrong thing. I'll spare everyone the blushes by showing them. I can show you later if you want, like the steps. But it was bad, and then I thought I was doing the right thing, and I was putting aloe vera and all this stuff because that's natural for burns, right? Natural kind of things, cleaning it and all of this. And then my friend can't come to me one day. We were meant to do some massage stuff, and he said, "Hey, Asai, I don't know about this. You sure it's not infected?" I'm like, no, 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 no. It's just the aloe vera has kind of, it's moist and it's after a while, like a banana, it just kind of gets all browny and stuff, yeah? And then it
Mm-mm.
hardens. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, I've created like a scab. I've got a shield. And he was just like, no, 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 no. This is not good. And he went to the pharmacy and he cleaned the wound the proper way. When a burn is just, it's just you just see dermis. There's no
Mm-mm.
scabbing. Cleaned everything. He spent about an hour, 2 hours cleaning everything. And then literally he said to me, look, I've had a lot of this shit in my life, scratches, bruises, cuts, whatever. I give you a few days and it will start to heal the correct way. And he wasn't wrong. So it's getting a lot better.
Well, that's
Thanks to
good.
him.
Well, that's good news. I'm glad your friend was there to catch it, man. Because otherwise, if it was an infection or something else, you just never know, right? Because you're not
Yeah.
like the truth is that you're in a foreign country, you're doing what you think is best, but how do I pull it in a nice way? There's dust and dirt around as well. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like you're not in the comfort of your own home where you want to keep it, clean and whatnot. So just,
Yeah.
you never know what kind of bugs as well. There's tropical bugs out there that might go in there. I don't know. I'm just making up
Yeah.
stuff, but
No, it's true. It's true.
yeah.
It's true. It's true. He wasn't. I think what I was doing was making the process slower. I don't think
Mm.
it was infected by any means. It's just that it was slower. And I hadn't had a burn in a long time. Have you? Have you had like a big burn that you've had to fucking deal with? No.
No, not like
So,
that. No.
this guy, he's like real mountain man. Like had all the kind of things you can think of in the forest, out in the wilderness, happen to him. So he was just like, he knows this stuff, and I had forgotten because I had a burn before. Long story short, and I had forgotten the process, and he reminded me. So I was like, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. This is what you. So the only thing now is like because when you get a burn, the skin kind of shrivels up in a sense, right? You can't see it, but just behind the knee, it's tight. you know, it's like it's still like this. So you've got the burn separately, and then behind that, like above the burn where the knee is, I try to stretch my leg out, and it's just restricted. You know,
Mm.
it's a bit like it's tight muscle. You know.
Okay. I was gonna
Yeah,
say
that's
like
the
if it's
kind.
restricted.
That's the last part of it.
Yeah, and I was just
Mm.
thinking if it's restricted, like you sure nothing from the knees damage, like no ligaments or nothing from there, or is it just muscle strain, you think?
I mean, when this happened, I went to the hospital and they did an okay job, but he did a better job, my friend. So
Okay.
I haven't looked at that, but I yeah, like it just feel like it's tight, you know. But it was worse before, so it's improving. But if it doesn't get any better, then I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. Okay. We'll keep an eye on that, man. I
Yeah,
mean, just want to
yeah,
make sure you can move forward with things as you're in Thailand. You know what I mean?
yeah. No, it just feels like it's just tight. Like it just like I need to stretch my leg more, you know. And it's just once that happens, everything will be fine because it's healing like amazingly. Like it's
Okay, that's
almost
good.
dry and those kind of things. I can start to move around like a bit more. It's just the walking is a bit like not really happy, but it's vastly improved. I was hobbling around like an idiot.
All right, cool. And what about your friend who
Before,
who
so
who was riding the motorbike, the moped? You still in touch with him? What the hell happened to him?
yeah, Kasimba, General Kasimba. He made it up the mountain fine. He made it down the mountain fine. He actually paid for my medical bills
Well, that's nice
as
of
well.
him.
He gave me a little bit extra. He was like, "Yo, man, like safe travels." Gave me a little 500 baht. Cool. um, and yeah, no, he was fine. He was fine. He was fine. So it was all good. He felt so bad, so bad. He felt so bad about it, you know. And he did his best in the moment to make me feel good. And I was just like, listen, man, go up the mountain, roll me a joint. I'll head back to town. ah, you know. And I
Okay.
was like, you know, it's fine. It could have been worse.
All right, well, that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all
I
good, man.
mean, yeah, exactly. Could have been worse. I mean, so you got away. Yeah, you got away good. Put it that way. In this case, I
Yeah,
guess if you want to think of it that way. Well, hopefully you recover
massively.
soon, man, and you can just get back on track with what you know. Hopefully you're back on track anyway, but you could just get back on track with the travels and everything.
Yeah, just being able to move around with ease, you know, it feels being in your hometown and you have an injury, it's like that's one thing, right? You can kind of you know how things function, but not being outside of it, like you said, and you're like, oh, can I do this? Can I get this? You know, obviously Songkran was going on, the festival, and it's been 3 years since COVID happened. So there was no Songkran. Listen, the whole week, try to order food. Sorry, no drivers available. Sorry, no drivers available because it was
Mm,
chaos outside.
yeah.
So I had to live off watermelon and fucking and nuts for a couple of
Oh,
days.
damn. Well, I mean, also because you're there and your time is like, when I say limited, you're gonna go back to London in a couple of weeks. So obviously, it's also even a bit more annoying that it's like, damn, I'm out here trying to make things happen, and now having like a week setback or maybe 2 weeks setback. I don't need this, right? Because I've got a 8 week
Yeah,
plan. I needed my whole 8 weeks, so it's just a bit of a little bit of a setback. But anyway, I'm
it
hoping
was.
that you can kind of move forward with this and still be able to achieve everything you need to in the next couple of weeks.
Well, listen, I have an interview next week. That's something I didn't have a week ago. So
Okay.
that came out of nowhere. And some other things have come up. So yeah, I think I needed to slow down. I think that what happened if you listen to the universe, I think it was just like calm down. You're moving too fast. Yeah, don't take too many risks, which I did, and I just had a week of reflection. You know, and I
Okay.
don't get me wrong. I was able to go on research and look for more jobs and do other things. You know, of course it sucks, but um, I'm not in a coma. You know,
Yes,
I,
yes, yeah, exactly.
or anything like that. You know, it's like
Because I'm
but
sure your family and friends, your parents and whatnot, I mean, if you've informed them, like I could, with me, I don't think I can even tell my mum because she'll freak out. She'll freak out. I'm in a foreign country anyway. She's always been like that. But if I was to tell her I got into an accident, it'll be horrible for her. So I don't know if you
yeah,
even told your parents,
I,
like, just to save them from
I
that.
I told my sister that there was a minor incident, and I glossed over it. She was like, "Huh? Minor
Yeah.
incident? What happened?" I was like, "Ah, you know, just burn." Oh, okay. My mom, I didn't say nothing to her. I know she's gonna worry.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. How could you not? How could you not as a your son's in another country, or brother, your friend, whatever's in another country. That's not. There's always a worry, man. There's always going to be a worry. Even if it happened in your home country, at least it's still a worry. But being somewhere else, you're by yourself. It's always going to be a worry. But anyway, I'm glad you're good. Glad you're good. Let's talk about some fights, man. I mean,
really,
this is fight talk. Let's talk about some fights. We had a good UFC fight card this this weekend. We were supposed to catch up yesterday. I know we tried to do it on the day of the fights, but it just got busy and whatnot. But you know, it was just definitely a fun card to talk about and an important fight and an exciting fight to talk about. So I figured like let's do it, you know what I mean? Like I know we miss sometimes, but when it comes to big fights like this, I think it's important that we definitely catch up, and I'm glad
Max is a big guy, man. Like let's not forget Max is a big, like for me, the blessed era still exists. So
yeah,
I got time for I always have time for Max.
definitely, man. I mean, he's a superstar and he's still one of the best. He's one of the best in the world, and he's young. He seems like such a veteran because he's been doing it for so long, but he's so young. He's like 30, what, 31, 32 or something. So he's got a lot of time, man. I mean, look, the fight that we're talking about is obviously Max Holloway versus Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen is upcoming guy, UK guy. He was 10-0 in the UFC.
Yeah.
You haven't seen it, spoiler alert, he's 10-1 now because Max Holloway won. Holloway won. It was, what did you so you got a chance to watch all the fights. What did you think of Holloway's performance? What did you think of Arnold? What did you think of the fight in general?
I didn't get to watch as much as I wanted to of the fight, but what I did see was like a good portion of the highlights. And I could see that Arnold Allen belongs in that. He belongs with these guys, with the elites. But Max Holloway is the best in the division besides Volk, and that's just what it was. You know, that's just what it was. He just so smooth and so slick, man. Like he's in a conundrum, don't you think? Because he's that good. No one has been able to beat him, and he just can't beat Volk. Like he's stuck.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And the question is, what do you do with Max? Like, do you give him the fourth fight with Volk because he deserves it? Or if Yair wins, do you give him the title shot because Max beat Yair, right? And then, or do you just give Max fun fights? Like, because this was a fun fight, but this was also a little bit like, you know, possibly Arnold Allen's gatekeeper fight, or he almost kind of like a gatekeeper fight for him, where Holloway showed like, I'm no gatekeeper. Like, listen, let me just show you how there's levels to this. I mean, Arnold Allen put it on him in the 5th round. I mean, maybe he should have put it on him from the 3rd round or something like that. But still, I mean, Holloway showed that I'm still up there. I still got it. Arnold Allen showed that, like you said, I deserve to be up here. But yeah, he is in a bit of a predicament now. What do you do with him next? Like it's crazy.
I don't even know, man.
He's that good.
The thing that, and it just brings back to Volk, like how great Volk is. You know that he's the only guy to beat him since fucking Connor, right?
That's right.
You didn't get any sleep? I was sleeping.
I'm so sorry, man. That's why I'm yawning. I didn't sleep well yesterday at all. I had
Oh no.
I went out to break fast yesterday, and then I got back late, and then had a meeting this morning, a client meeting this morning that at 8:30. So I had to wake up super early, around at least 7 minimum. And I had to, like, yesterday night I slept late because I had to quickly like do some finish off some prep work. That's why I keep yawning. I'm so tired because I didn't sleep. Man. So my whole body and my mind is just tired. I don't even know if I'm going to train today because I'm just like, you know what? It might not be safe to train just because of the sense of like, I don't think my body's healed or in a good place too. It's wrestling as well. I don't want to bust myself up. So yeah, I apologize for yawning. I just didn't sleep yesterday.
It's all good. What about like a sauna, jacuzzi?
I don't have that here, man.
Ramadan?
I don't have that here. And there's places that exist. I haven't explored any yet. So maybe after Ramadan I'll take a look. Yeah, but after this, I think I'm just gonna take a nap. Just because I need to kind of. And if I can wake up and go training, then maybe I'll do that. But Yeah, no, you know how it is. I mean, if you don't
It's your
sleep,
body,
it's
man.
just, and I
Yeah.
had to start the morning with this client call, and I'm just fumbling over my words, and you know how it is. I'm probably gonna be
Yeah.
fumbling over my words here. But anyway, back
Let's
to the
fumble away,
fights.
son. Let's fumble
Yeah,
away.
yeah, back to the fights. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a 5 round fight. You can't knock down Holloway. Holloway, I don't think even Dustin Poirier was able to knock him down in the fight that they had, and that was at lightweight. Can't stop
Well,
this
I
guy.
forgot about that fight.
Yeah, remember, right?
Yeah.
So Holloway just
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
knock out Holloway. That ain't
His
happening. And
chin
Arnold
is
Allen, he
powerful.
connected with some shots that took down,
Mm,
Dan
mm,
Hooker and whatnot.
mm,
Holloway, you can't do that. You can't knock him out.
mm,
You're gonna have to
mm.
the way Alex Volkanovski beats him is by outpacing him and outworking him. That's how you're gonna beat
Yeah.
Max Holloway. You're not gonna beat him by I'm gonna submit him, I'm gonna knock him out. That's not happening with Max Holloway. Not now. Not anytime soon. The
Too
moment you
blessed.
see Max Holloway get dropped by a punch and get knocked out, then Holloway might have to think, okay, I think my time is coming, because he's in a great place now where he's for the longest time and you can't knock him down. But the pace that Alan, like I said, he put on in round 5, if he put that on earlier, he would have definitely been able to outpace Max Holloway. That's got to be the game plan with Max Holloway. Like, I know his corner was saying, Alan's corner, like Faraz Zahabi is a genius and whatnot. He was like, cool, first round, 1, 2 is patience, let's take our time and whatnot. I don't think you could do that with Holloway, because Holloway puts on the pace. So you're gonna have to outpace him. That's how Volk beat him. You're gonna have to outpace him. But if you take your time, then Holloway's gonna get ahead of you, and Holloway don't stop. My guy's got cardio for days and he just don't stop. So you're already outpaced by 1 or 2 rounds. Now to step it up the last 3 rounds, I mean, Holloway's already got an edge on you, sort of thing. So, I mean, you got to put the pace on him.
It's too much. And once he starts getting that rhythm going and playing around and peacocking you, and remember against Calvin Cade, like, oh no, you got him doing it. You fucked up already.
Yeah, he didn't do that with Allen. Like that because Allen was on more. I think because Allen was connecting a lot more, and he's a lot more
connecting.
Yeah, just I guess he was able to find a bit more angles and connect a bit more with that. I mean, that last 10 seconds, it was kind of like,
he almost dropped him.
Yeah, I mean, they had that little 10-second thing, like where Max Holloway done that with was it Ricardo Lamas? Or
yeah.
They had that moment. Man, and he dropped. Connected with it. They both connected, and at the end, Max Holloway connected. The great fight. I mean, look, I don't think Allen's stock dropped at all. He could still, he could fight like, I don't know, Josh Emmett. He could fight. There's a few contenders in that division that he could fight.
Yeah, there is.
Max Holloway was like, he's surprised he's never fought Korean Zombies, so that's something for him that could be fun for him to fight. Some fun for him to fight. So that's interesting. If he's not up pulling out Volk, so maybe he's like, well, let's have a couple more fights, maybe some exciting fights, and I'll get if naturally I have to get back to Volk, let it be. Like, rather than sitting there saying, oh, give me a title shot next, he's just like, well, let me just keep busy. So that's probably why Korean Zombie might make sense to him.
You'll have to come up with something completely. I don't even know what Max could do to defeat Volk at this point. I'm not sure, but yeah, unfortunately, he's a gatekeeper right now. And unless, like you said, the belt changes hands and what's his name now? Yair gets it, then maybe he has a chance. But I can't see him beating Volk, man. I don't know what he's gonna do.
Especially what Volk just showed everyone with Islam. I'm like, after that fight, I would like, if I was in that division, I'd be like, oh shit, that's the champ, and that's what he did, and that did, like, I don't know, he's scary. Volk is like, when I say scary, he's like the nicest guy in the world, but then when he comes to fighting, it's like, how do you beat that? You know what I mean? It's very different. The pace that he put on is what he showed in that Islam fight. And all his featherweight fights he's just on another level, man. Whoever's, I think, do you know what? I reckon, I tell you who's going to beat Volk, my opinion. Time. Father Time will beat Volk. That's my opinion. I don't see any opponent right now or any contender right now beating Volk except Father Time, honestly. And the Islam fight, yes, he lost, but I'm in some way I'm not counting that as a loss to him. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? You know what I'm saying? I'm not really counting it as a loss. I'm like, all right, well, you went up in weight class, you put on a great fight. So to me, it's not a loss. But on the records, I guess you could say loss. But I think Father Time is going to beat Volk, and that's it. Nothing else.
How old is Volk again? 30 something too.
I think he's 30 something. Yeah, I think I'm not sure. But yeah, I reckon he's 30 as well.
Yeah, I don't see anybody else in that division doing it at the moment. But you know, anything can happen, man. Anything can happen. But for now, I look at the roster. I don't see it.
Same here. Time is gonna be his. And if Volk does like something like Khabib does and just retire on top, he goes down as one of the greatest. I mean, I think he's cementing himself as one of the greatest featherweights. I mean, Max Holloway is definitely there anyway, but Max Holloway, I think, he's already cemented himself as one of the greatest featherweights, right? And he's still doing the damn thing, right? I think Alex is doing the same thing now with what he's doing. He's cementing himself as one of the greatest featherweights. The more he carries on, the more he defends. If he gets another, I think he should definitely, him and Islam should go again. If he gets that belt, no doubt, one of the best. And even if he doesn't, at least that's the second time. And, you know, he's cementing himself as one of the greatest featherweights of all time. No doubt about it.
Big time, big time. Both of them are guaranteed Hall of Famers unless someone fucks up. And I don't see that. You know,
exactly.
You know, like something bad outside of the fight. I think, I reckon if them two run it back, Volk and Islam, we might have a different outcome. You might do.
I mean, I see it two different outcomes.
It's possible.
Yeah, I see two different outcomes. I see either Islam smashing him and doing what we know him to do, or on the flip side, I see Volk winning decisively. Like, I wouldn't say decisively, but I see Volk winning by decision, but just putting on more pace than he did before. That's the way I see it. That it could be a different fight.
He would have to.
I don't see the same sort of fight happening. I see Volk winning by decision, but putting more pace and beating Islam, or Islam just like, not that he didn't take him serious this time, but taking him even more serious and just destroying, doing what he does. Yeah, that's why I see
more drowning. It's possible. I think that's probably, like, of all the rematches that we have out there, that one's in my top 3.
Yeah, we need to see that.
Yeah, 100%.
We need to.
100%.
I think
the rest of the fights, Matt. Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, no. I'm just saying. I see that happening maybe end of this year, like them two having another fight. Yeah, in my opinion, I think them two having another fight. If Alex defends his title and wins, Islam defends his title and wins, because Devish and Charles Oliveira, if you saw, is not happening now. So what if they give it to Islam? What if they give Devish Islam as a title fight? Islam wins, then it just kind of makes sense for now. We'll do the rematch because they both won. Let's give them a go again. So you never know, But yeah, moving on to still in the featherweight division, Edson Barboza, man, he's another fun guy to watch. Was it Billy Quarantillo? Man, Barboza and another highlight knockout, another highlight knee. Great to see him, man. The guy's so fast, and his leg kicks and his switch kicks are just so good, man. I love watching him fight because he's just so precise and beautiful technique with speed and precision and all that stuff. I just love watching him fight.
He's a killer. He's another one who, I think, for him, given the division that he stands in, they just need to give him fun fights. They need to give him fights because, you know, if he's up against a wrestler like, you know, like he has done, it doesn't work. You know, people like him, people like Wonderboy Thompson, just give them fun fights for us, for them. I don't think you can lose. You know?
I think so, yeah. I agree. I mean,
put him in fun fights. Because he's not gonna get the belt.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. Like, with all the skills he has, like, all respect to him, that division, it just works against him. Just put him in some fun fights and let us be entertained. Have a beer or herbal tea in your case.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, like, you know, he fought the who's who at the lightweight division. He fought all of them, man. He fought all of them. So it's not like his resume, man. Like whether it wins or loses, his resume itself speaks for itself. Like he's been up there, and so fun fights would be great, man. Fun striking fights would be great, man. I think even I think he'll be fun in that division. Just put him up against strikers and whatnot, and let's see some good some technique.
I think that's the best way for him forward, because he's still, like you said, he's really good. He's still got amazing technique. He's a little bit older, but you know, he can entertain, you know, and he still has it, but he's just not gonna get the belt. So let him do his thing. Fuck it.
Yeah. No, exciting guy to watch, man. Well, I'm always tuning in for a Barboza fight. Put it that way, man. Whether it's a knockout or not, honestly, as crazy as this sounds, I watch Barboza to watch him perform his technique. Like when he throws a leg kick, I'm like, oh, that looks good. When he throws a switch kick, I'm like, that looks good. Like I watch him not for the knockout that possibly will happen, just to see him apply his technique. You know, some people you like to watch him on pads because you're like, oh, he moves good, head movement, throwing the punches crisp. He switches stances, whatever it is. You're like, oh, that's nice. It's with Barboza, it's that, but in a real fight. I just love watching him perform. It's just I'm always tuning in for a Barboza fight. I don't care.
I feel you, because you know what I was thinking when you said there's not many fighters that go that Muay Thai heavy in UFC, is there? Not many.
No, we had Khalil Roundtree, but then you know.
Yeah, he's the only one. So when you see it, you're like, oh shit, it's on back.
Yeah. So
but it's just like I get why you're captivated.
But yeah, I mean, and again, it's his technique. When he throws the kick, you can see the hip twist over, like all of those sort of things. It's not just throwing it, but the hips twisting, like the arms are shifting, like the weight distribute. Everything just looks great. When he's throwing punches, they seem so clean and imprecise and fast and powerful. He's just so fun to watch. He's just exciting to watch. I love his technique.
And he's so he's always in shape.
Great shape.
He's always ripped as shit. Yeah. Ripped. Always in shape, you know. So when you see him throw his kick or punch, you see every muscle ripple. It's like anime.
That's it. Definitely. He's like Bruce from Tekken. You know, the Muay Thai fighter from Tekken. He looks like, I mean, I know that Tekken character was probably taken from the kickboxer movie Tong Po, but I see Edson Barboza as Bruce from Tekken.
Yeah.
Just stacked, beautiful technique. But let's move on. What other fights did you catch? I mean, I caught the main card. Did you catch the rest of the main card? I mean, there was Dustin Jacoby versus Azamat. That was a light heavyweight bout.
I just heard about the roundup of that fight. That it was quite. Yeah, all I heard was around that it was it went to a decision and it was a bit slow affair. That's all I heard.
Yeah, and Azamat got the best of the striking. I think Dustin was more of a kickboxer, and I think he's got a kickboxing accolade. I'm not as familiar, but I heard that he's got a kickboxing accolade. But Azamat put it on with the striking. But he's also wrestling. He's also wrestling dominant. But I didn't see him use
Sambo.
it as much. I believe
Sambo,
so.
Sambo guy. Yeah. Okay, that's the fight that I heard that the other guy he had 2 minutes to finish him, and his corner said you need to finish him, and he started to shoot for takedowns, and they were like, what?
Yeah.
Because the other guy had gassed out, right? He gassed out. So what do? You piece him up on the standing, but he went for takedowns. So yeah, it was a bit strange.
What else? There was another light heavyweight bout, Tanner Boza versus Ion Koch.
The Madman. Kutalaba.
That's it. He's always screaming. Always screaming at everyone.
Yeah, he's angry.
Well, he won, and he was very hyped. I mean, he connected with a beautiful right straight, and it just finished it. That was the end. From there, it was a beautiful sort of finish and combination there. You know, I guess I mean Hulk's always angry, so I guess he's just happy to get a win in. I guess because he lost against. Did he lose his last fight, if I can remember correctly?
I think he did. I think he lost a few fights, yeah.
but he's always screaming at people. So, you know, when it comes to the weigh-ins, I think Dana's prepared to be like, all right, he's gonna get in his face. Let me hold him back.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I saw his name announced, and I see Dana like this, and I was like, oh, okay, it's this guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Angry guy,
yeah.
man. Angry guy. Hope,
What a
I
knockout,
guess.
man.
What else we had, man? Bantamweight, we had Pedro Munoz versus Chris Gutierrez, and that was an exciting fight. I mean, Gutierrez,
Yes.
I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
saying his name right, but Chris, he knocked out Frankie Edgar with that knee, which was, really devastating knee, and it ended Frankie Edgar's sort of career. That was a great fight, but Munoz, I think from the beginning, he cemented that I still got it, and I still got the power to knock you out. Because I think, I don't know if you saw that fight, but within the first round, within the first couple of minutes, Pedro Munoz like connected with a heavy strike that knocked Chris down. And that was just, I feel like almost like that was just one of the, I think if that punch didn't connect, the fight could have gone a different way. Chris could have been a bit more looser. I'm not saying that he wasn't loose, but Munoz kind of cemented that I can still knock you out, and I still got it and whatnot from the very beginning. So very fun technical fight. I don't know why the crowd was booing. The crowd was booing that fight, but it was like even Cormier and Bisping were saying that this is a high level striking bout. I have no idea what the crowd's booing, which I thought was just weird as well. But I don't know. That was a bit of a weird one because it was a high level fight.
Unfortunately, I missed that one, but I just heard that. I heard what you heard, like the same thing, and that Pedro Munoz is still dangerous. That's it. But do you reckon he's gonna challenge? Do you reckon he could, or is he gonna? What do you think?
I don't know if he'll challenge at the title contendership. I mean, he could possibly. I mean, what do you call it? Sean O'Malley, and they had that fight, and there was a little eye poke thing, right? That was Pedro Munoz, right? I mean, maybe he can still get back up there. You know what I mean? Maybe he could fight a Petr Yan. You got Usman. You got Marab. I mean, maybe he could like one of those would be the next step up. I think for him. Maybe you know what? Maybe a Petr Yan could be a step up for him, and just to kind of. I know Petr Yan's now seen as a gatekeeper or whatnot, but that could be a good move for Pedro Munoz or Usman versus Pedro Munoz. I think that might be a good one too.
Usman Nurmagomedov.
Nurmagomedov, yeah.
Oh,
or Umar. Umar? No, Usman's a Bellator guy. His brother. Umar.
It's Umair. Oh, yeah. Umar, one of those pronunciations. Yeah, that's the dangerous guy who threw the kick and then the punch, right? And he was like, I don't know, I just did it.
yeah, exactly. That's another one of the Eagle clan, the Dagestani boys.
Yeah.
So excited. Yeah, exactly. Excited to see him compete again. I mean, obviously it's Ramadan now, so once Ramadan ends next week, we'll probably start getting some announcements of when some of the Dagestani boys will start fighting again.
But in Dubai, right? Maybe.
What's that? Sorry.
I was saying maybe they'll have a fight in Dubai.
Well, they're doing Abu Dhabi in October. That's booked already. So I see Hamza on that fight. I see Islam on that fight. Like I definitely see them boys on that fight. Those two at least. So that could be a big one for him. But October is still a couple months away. So there's still say it's April now, May, June, July. That's 3 months. I'm sure someone can fight 3 months. June, July, August, September, October. That's 3 months. Yeah, I mean, I reckon we'll get a couple of those guys fighting in July and a couple of more in October in Abu Dhabi.
I hope so, because the ever so aggressive and charismatic and pragmatic and dynamic Hamza kind of slowed down a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
when he first came on, he was doing the most.
The last fight he had at Kevin Holland, when was that, man? That was end of last year sometimes, right?
I think so, but yeah. Do you know any information about that? Like it almost just passed him by. Like we just passed that train all of a sudden,
I don't know. I think look, after the Kevin Holland fight, which again was devastating, like dominating, right? It was crazy, right? Then there was all this question about, where does he want to fight? He challenged Pereira.
Yeah.
all that
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah, yeah.
light heavyweight, middleweight, all that sort of stuff. Then I think they confirmed that he's going to be at middleweight, and then it hit. But then
Middleweight.
Ramadan came, and then it was like, well, look, I haven't got time to train or whatnot, so I got
I
or
guess
whatnot. So
that
Ramadan. So
makes
now it's just quiet because all of them boys are just like, I am fasting now, so don't talk to
yeah,
me about
yeah,
fighting. I'll come back to you later.
yeah.
Yeah.
True, true, true. Okay, well, I just hope that once Ramadan is respectively over, we get the same guy who was like, "Hey, I want to fight next week. I want to fight 2 weeks after that," because that was
Yes,
so
yeah, yeah,
fun, right?
yeah. Exactly, exactly.
Mm.
So we'll see how that one goes. I mean, them guys are exciting, and it's fun that they're still there. It's fun that we got these cards and these fights that we're excited about, but it's fun that we got these guys coming. They're in the background. You know what I'm trying to say? It's always fun that we know that they're coming in the background. Like
Yeah.
what I love about this, and from my perspective as a fan, is like, yes, I'm excited to see Islam and Hamza fight, but also I'm excited to see Max Holloway fight. Like there's always someone exciting to watch. So I'm always like, it's almost like the MCU and whatnot. It's like, oh, I'm excited for that one. I'm excited for this next fight. I'm excited for this next
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
And in the
This next
background,
movie.
like I said, you got the X-Men, which we haven't touched on yet. And I'm like, I can't wait till that comes out. So that's like the Hamza and whatnot. I will wait for them. So
All these guys,
fantastic. Well, that's what I'm trying to
fantastic.
say. So the UFC, I see it the same
Yeah,
thing. Like I'm
yeah, yeah,
constantly
yeah,
entertained with all the content and fight that I'm getting, but in the background, they're
yeah.
building another fight. So I'm like, I can't wait for those. So I love
Yeah,
it. I
yeah,
love
yeah,
it.
yeah.
We're
It's good.
finishing off with this card because I didn't watch the prelims, but to kick off the main event, you had the legend Clay Guida still doing the thing.
Oh my
First
God, he
in,
cut his hair. He cut his
yeah, he
hair.
cut his hair. He cut his hair. That long ass hair and that whatnot. He fought Rafa Garcia, who done a great job just jabbing him up. Really, just utilized the jab, got the
Right.
whole fight and just win by decision. A great fight. Great. I don't know if it was a game plan, but just great understanding of like, oh, I've got my timing great on the jab, and I'm just going to use this. And Clay Guida didn't really mix up too much of the wrestling and whatnot. So it's like, why won't I just jab him and just win the fight? Why would I have to risk it to either getting hurt, possibly losing? Just I think it was intelligent to be like, all right, I'm just going to stick behind the jab. This is working. And then Clay Guida done a fake retirement thing where he took off the gloves. I think Dana got upset by that, but it was a bit of a fake one just to give, I think, like happy birthday to his mom or something like that. Shout out. Dana got a bit upset by that, but wasting
Relax, Dana,
airtime.
man. Let me just shine your head a little bit. Relax, Dana.
Yeah, but yeah, Clay Guida doing the thing. That's it, man. I did not see the prelims. Let's see what's happening next week, man. Let me just have a quick look at next week's card.
Okay, well then, while you do that, did you see the back and forth between John Jones and Stipe?
I saw a little bit, yeah. When you talk about that.
Well, what I gathered, like somebody asked Dana about where Jones is at, and he said, "Oh, he disappeared after the last fight, right?" And then they were like, "Oh, what's going on with Stipe?" And then Stipe, I can't remember how it went, but Stipe said something online, and then Jones, typically in Jones fashion, was just like, I'm here, like I'm not going anywhere, this and that. So they went to, I think they're just kind of, all they need to do is just solidify or confirm when that fight's going to happen. But because Jones kind of just went quiet, I guess people are just like, hey, what happened to you? But they just got to confirm the fight, really. And him and Stipe are just poking at each other at the moment.
Yeah, they need to confirm that fight. They need to confirm that. We also, I mean, because that's going to be, listen, I think with Jones, he's already solidified himself as one of the greatest of all time, or the greatest of all time.
See you after.
But if he can beat Stipe, and I think Stipe will be definitely a harder fight, that's Jones, man. That's Jones. You can't. That's it. He's the greatest of all time. But if he starts dominating the heavyweight division, if Ngannou somehow comes back, that's the exciting thing.
That is why I fucking just went because I haven't read this report yet, but I've heard it. Well, this part I've already heard that Ngannou pretty much priced himself out of a couple of deals. Maybe you heard about that. Yeah, priced himself out a couple of deals, and he's kind of running out of options. And I saw a video I want to watch some guy who what's his name again? Jesse on Fire on YouTube, and he's normally on pretty good and on the beat with a lot of things. And all it said something like that Ngannou had either had or will apologize to Dana and so on and so on. I don't know, but there's a good possibility that we might get Ngannou back. full speculation, spoilers.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
full speculation, but it makes sense.
yeah, I mean, I think Ngannou in this case might have to bite the bullet. I mean, because he's hype. I don't know, but I think the hype is dying down. Like the boxing, the Tyson Fury, the Deontay Wilder's. It's like, well, the hype is dying down, and if you keep pricing yourself out, yeah, I mean, of course, I want him to make all the money, but if you keep pricing yourself out, I mean, wasn't your goal with the UFC was not even for yourself? It was more about everyone else as well. Because his contract, not only was he going to make millions, it was also like, I want you to look after the rest of the team or the rest of the people in the UFC, which is a great thing. Right. But then if you're going to BKFC and if you're going to all these other organizations and you want a lot of money, then you're not really helping out the UFC, if that makes sense. Because UFC is an entity that carries on. Soon as Ngannou left, this is how crazy, how bad it is though. Ngannou's gone, Jones comes up. Jones is a big superstar. Like, you don't need Ngannou. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, McGregor's not around either, but still they're killing it. You know what I'm trying to say? So the company moves on. As bad as it sounds, you want to do a good thing, the business moves on. So I think the best thing you could do is like, you can join, you can advocate for the team or whatnot, but come back and, you know, maybe you make the money and help people. Like, just use your money to help people if anything. You know what I'm trying to say? But, you know, I think Dana did say that Ngannou will never fight for the UFC again because he's impossible to work with. I think Ngannou would have to bite the bullet, apologize, and you know, see if he can come back. And he'll probably get a worse deal than before.
Yeah, definitely. What you know, I don't know anything about this stuff, but what I've heard Connor knows a thing or two about negotiations. He says you need to get representation. I think if he gets that, he might have a way in. But as it is now, he's, you know, we have a meeting with Ngannou. Where's your representation? I am my representation. It's not working, is it? It's not fucking working. So he needs to find an agent or someone who can speak for him, and maybe we might get him back. Maybe we'll get our Jones and Francis fight in the next 2 years. Hopefully,
yeah, I mean,
maybe.
He had a manager and whatnot, and I think Dana White was saying that it's just impossible to work with, and he always felt that his management team was filling Ngannou's head with crap, unrealistic crap and whatnot. So I don't know. I mean, it's difficult, man. I really feel like it sucks that they just couldn't work things out. But I feel like now the business has shown we can move on without you, so we don't need you, right? So I think it's Ngannou who's the one that's going to have to come back and say,
yeah, it's showing that, unfortunately, say it, but Ngannou is the problem. Because otherwise he would have already gone to Bellator, or he would have gone to BKFC, or he would have gone to one. But if you're out here pricing yourself, something's not right there, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, again, he tried to do a good thing. He tried to represent the people, but man, it's tough. It's tough. I say if you want to represent the people, do a Muhammad Ali, man. Like, speak out on things. Earn your money within the UFC. I know you're trying to help people in the UFC, but what about just be the good human being that you are. Look after your people in Cameroon. Speak out for people use your platform to speak out for, you know, the Congo and, you know, what's happening there with the cobalt mines. You know, stuff like that. Be that hero. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, the UFC is an entity of itself, and those fighters who are not earning as much, you know, it's as hard as it sounds, man. Like, because people keep saying like they don't earn, like the high-end UFC fighters earn a lot, right? High-end boxing fighter earns a lot, but low-end MMA fighters, low-end boxing fighters, not really, right? It's almost on the same sort of thing. So really, I think, you know, it's like any job. Like, as bad as it sounds, still fighting, but the higher you go, the more money you're gonna get, all that sort of stuff, right? So the fighters are just gonna work their way up. Like, it's difficult for like people to say the UFC don't pay enough and all this sort of stuff. Like, maybe yes, maybe no, and if not, maybe you're in the wrong business. I don't know. Listen, man, I'm not a fighter and all that sort of stuff, but when you're putting your life on the line, I believe you should get paid all the money in the world. However, I fought as an amateur, bro. Amateur guy, right? In a way, I put my life on the line because someone was still trying to punch and kick my head off, right? I paid to fight. I paid to join the tournament. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's like, I can't imagine if I grew and I got into the UFC, I'm like, all right, now you need to give me millions. It's like, no, you need to grow. Like, you bring the, you know what I mean? So it's a difficult one, man. I hope they can work things out. I hope Ngannou could just, maybe just work something out. And like I said, use his platform to just speak for people and do a Muhammad Ali. Because that's the Muhammad Ali. If you want to help people, if you want to be that hero, who else better than to get inspiration from than that guy? You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. Ngannou gave up his heavyweight title for the UFC for more money, but also trying to help the UFC fighters in one sense, because that was part of his deal. Muhammad Ali gave away his heavyweight belt to not go and kill people in Vietnam and fight for his people and stuff like that. It's a big difference. Big difference. I'm sorry that I'm comparing it, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, be that hero.
I know it's a relatable example, and like you said in that conversation we had way back when, the second reimagining of a Muhammad Ali act of inspiration, not necessarily all of what he did and so on, is Habib inspiring the Muslims and the Islams to go and fight and be like, yo, I'm a proud Muslim. There's no like, that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
No issue, no qualm. We go and do our thing. We're respectful, but we tear your ass up in the cage, man.
That's it. And then use the platform to help people. The amount of charity work that Habib has done, and like, look, people won't believe this, and I'm just saying so there's 5 pillars of Islam. I'm just using it as it. One of the pillars is charity. You have to give. It's a set thing. It's like, to be a true. Not this is wrong to say, but what I'm saying, 5 pillars is like prayer, fasting, visiting the Kaaba, believing in God, submitting yourself to God, and the last one is charity. Right, you have to give charity. It's like, so for example, during the month of Ramadan, like, I work out all my net value that I got, savings and everything, and then I have to give 2.5% towards charity, and that could be towards whatever charity it is, but I have to. That's an obligation as a Muslim. But everyone gives charity anyway. But what I'm saying is, like, with these guys like Khabib and the guys, when they make this money, they make this platform and all this money, they're using that to give charity. That's what we have to do. Ngannou. I mean, again, you don't have to be a Muslim to give charity. Everyone does it anyway. But what I'm saying is, Ngannou could just use the platform to just help people, make the money, and go help poor people. Go, like, he's doing it anyway. You know what I mean? Just do that, man. I mean, I think that would be more beneficial. Biting the bullet, accepting faults, but then, making money and just, like I say, helping people in your country, in Africa, in other parts of the world, speaking out for people. That's something that you could do on helping people, because I think that's what he wants to do, from what he was trying to negotiate with it. I mean, the fact that the heavyweight champion's like, I want to get paid this much, but also I need you to give life insurance or health insurance to the UFC roster. Like, he didn't have to do that. He didn't. That was a part of his. Like, I think that was part of some of the deals that he got. Like, all right, cool. You didn't get that. You won't get that. Use your money to help other people, or just make the money. And say, for example, there was someone on the UFC roster who needed help. Just give him a couple of $100,000. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, there's stuff like that could be done. That he could.
Well, you see, you make a really good point about the platform and people who don't, the different tiers, the corners, the John Joneses who make massive pay packets, middle ground, and the people below them. And if you have a platform, that's an opportunity to go and make sponsorships and make deals. And maybe you're a fighter, but you're also a fucking blues player,
That's
and
it.
now people are watching, so yeah, like, you have to be resourceful with what you're given, and a lot of people do that. Like Sean O'Malley, where he's a talented fighter, he doubled down into weed and so on, and now he's got his podcast. So, Dana always says, I think you said it as well, this is not, maybe I'm definitely saying this wrong, but this is not like a charity. This is opportunity, something like this, right?
It's not a career, it's an opportunity. Yeah.
Okay, that's it. That speaks for itself.
I mean, and I think he's right, because when you think about it, like, you're a fighter, it's your career, you've been fighting and training your whole life and whatnot to be this champion and whatnot. But ultimately, you should be using all of this platform to be setting up other things in the world. So this is going to make you a badass fighter. This is going to make you money. This is going to, yes, exactly. This is going to give you the popularity. Make sure, because you can't do it. Fighting has an age limit, man. 40, like, I guess you could say, right? You have to set yourself up for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? And that's, you use this platform to do that.
That's it.
You can't be fighting. It's dangerous, man. You're putting your brain on the line, man. You're putting your body on the line. It's dangerous, man. So really, it's right. I think in God, I hope he comes back. I hope he figures it out. He comes back and they figure out a deal, which is important.
I'm gonna watch that video and I'll if it's worth it's spit, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, okay, okay. All right,
Mm.
cool. Do that. The other thing, real quick, before we end this, is Jake Paul and Nate Diaz, and then Nate Diaz also making a comment saying, "After I take over boxing, I'm coming back to the UFC." What's your thoughts on all of that?
Okay, well, I thought that Jake was gonna fight Tommy Fury again, right? But then again,
They had a rematch clause, right?
pretty much handed to him against a. I think so. I think they did. I think they did. I think they did. But either way, like you have now gone up in competition. You fought all these other guys. You fought Ben Askren. You fought Tyron Woodley. You know all these guys that are thrown into a boxing ring that they're not boxers by trade. And you fight a robot and Tommy Fury, and then what happens? You lose, yeah. And that's nothing against Jake Paul at all. Like we've already given stripes to him and what he can do. But you know, if you're gonna go and fight Nate, who's older than you are, and he's not. I mean, he's a great boxer, but he's not a boxer kind of thing. You know, you've got the speed advantage, you've got the youth advantage with Jake. I think it's low hanging fruit for Jake, man. I think it's easy.
If he beat Anderson Silva, I forget Tommy Fury for a second, but if he beat Anderson Silva, who's, yes, he's older than Nate, however, he's been through the same amount of war. I don't want to say same amount of wars, but he's been through wars like Nate, but he's bigger than Nate.
Knocked out, man.
Yeah, he's bigger than Nate, and Anderson Silva's, I think, a better skilled boxer than Nate Diaz, right? Then I really see Jake Paul beating Nate Diaz. Like, I don't know, like I really see him beating him because Nate is smaller as well. He's durable as hell. Don't get me wrong. My guy's willing to take a shot to think, but Jake Paul can crack, and that might be dangerous for Nate to be taking shots like that. And then also, but I think this is a cash grab though. I mean, it's just Jake Paul going back to his ways. It's a cash grab. It's a great cash grab for Nate as well. And then, you know, you know, I mean, I hope Nate makes better money, and I'm sure he will, but I don't know if he'll come back. If he comes back to the UFC, that would obviously be fun. We would always want that. But I don't think he'll win that and then come back to the UFC and try and win. But
I shouldn't do that, man. But then again, Nate just doing pure boxing. Look, what is it that annoys you about Nate Diaz fighting?
He just doesn't apply mixed martial arts, right? He applies just boxing and takes shots and gives shots, and he doesn't throw leg kicks or that.
And he doesn't check them.
He doesn't check them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's the thing that's so frustrating about him. But in a fight where he doesn't have to worry about that stuff, who knows?
True. Yeah.
Who knows? Because the Stockton stuff is real. You know, his skills in boxing and range and everything. Maybe that's enough, but you know, I don't think I'm very interested in that fight, but I'll have a look.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's definitely going to bring up some hype. Nate's got some loyal fans. I love watching Nate. He's fun to watch. Press conferences will probably be fun. You know, it's a big one. And then you know what?
Yeah.
Say, for example, Nate does win. Just say, for example, he can come back to the UFC and do another big fight with McGregor. That's big.
Conor, yes.
Yes, that's big. That fight would always exist, and that fight would bring millions. So I think UFC would always be open for it. Like I think the perfect scenario is somehow Nate wins. Yeah. Listen, with the popularity behind all of that, big superstar again, then set up the McGregor fight, big superstar in the UFC, millions pay-per-views. Like it's just huge. Big. It's just big.
Huge. The narrative is there. Absolutely. The narrative is there.
Yeah. Also, also, if they both lose, if McGregor loses against Chandler and Nate loses against Jake, you still got that fight there, dude, because you're like, well, they both lost, put them together again.
Yeah. And I'm sure Nate's not as hard to work with as Ngannou. So
exactly. I mean, I'm sure Dana's had some thoughts about them working with the Diaz brothers, but yeah, I'm sure they can negotiate something. Diaz definitely brings up the pay-per-view, so you can't really complain with their.
Yeah. So I think it makes sense, man. But I just don't like the idea of you know, the young and ferocious Jake Paul fighting you know, and ever so durable. And yes,
I thought he was done with that just after the Tommy Fury, but obviously not. You know, obviously after losing Tommy Fury, he's gone back to, okay, I'm going to go fight an old MMA fighter again just to get that win again, possibly.
yeah.
You know,
I
maybe
mean, it makes
Jake's, you
sense.
know, it's a reality check for Jake to be like, all right, well, I still got a lot to go in trying to learn this boxing game. Like, because when you're fighting a boxer, it's different. You know, the skill set is different. So
Yeah, very much so. I mean, he didn't get washed like we thought he would, because there was moments that he had as well, but he just needs more time, I think, because there was certain, like we said, there were certain gaps in which was both kind of needed to be filled in their game plan, and Jake could have implemented those things. Maybe he can do next time. So I think there's space for him to grow, and we'll see what happens. He's still very young, and
exactly,
he's got a lot of money.
exactly, exactly,
So
exactly. Cool, man. Well, that was it, man. I mean, I don't think I had anything else.
I saw Creed 3, by the way, fucking dope. But
Yeah.
it just seemed so, I don't know, like it just so it's an easy story, you know. It's so easy to just go that way, you know. It was no, there was no surprises, but it was still good. But it didn't
I
have the weight that the other ones had. They just had more.
I
Did you feel
think,
that?
yeah, I mean, I think they had that maybe because maybe because of Rocky and the background that Rocky had and the weight that Rocky had, which came onto Creed, you know, because Creed one was, you know, I'm Creed's son, right? So there's that weight. Creed two
That
was
yeah.
Ivan Drago, the guy who killed Creed's,
Killed
you
this. So
know,
there was
yeah. And this one was, you know, but I
yeah.
still think, you know, because obviously they're getting away from the whole Rocky franchise and trying to build their own Creed franchise. I
Yes.
still think this was good, and I still would follow the Creed franchise. But
I
yeah, I
would.
get
I
it.
would.
It's a bit difficult coming away from Rocky, and creating your own kind of franchise or whatnot.
Franchise. Yeah, yeah. I watched it and I was like, okay, I can understand where they're going, and I like the symbolism that they use in terms of the trauma that they had and so on. You know, at the end fight where they showed my man in the prison, and I thought that was really good filming and everything. But it just, like you said, it didn't have the weight to it. So maybe the next
Yeah, yeah. I mean, still a lot to grow in those movies.
one.
Man, all right, man.
Yeah,
Good
man.
way to end it. Good conversation. I'm glad we got a chance to catch up about these fights. I
Definitely.
know we're a day late, so apologize, people, but thank you for the time as usual. And yeah, on that note, man, thanks everyone for watching,
Yeah.
subscribing, all that good stuff. And we will catch up on the next one. There's another UFC card next week. We'll try and catch up on that one.
Which one?
You
Which one? Which
got
one? What is that?
heavyweights, man. The next
Huh?
week. Hold on.
I, I left my
Yeah, I
tablet
lost it.
in London, so like everything is on the phone. So I'm just like, I can't check
Uh,
anything.
Sergey Pavlovich versus
Oh,
Curtis Blades. Yeah. So that's
oh, guy's got
Sunday
heavy
the
hands, man.
23rd. Yeah, so that's next weekend. So we'll try
Oof,
and catch
okay,
that. Bobby Green's on that card.
23rd.
You got Sonya
Bobby
Dung. Yeah,
Green. Oh
some good
shit.
fights on this one, man.
Oh shit. That's a decent
Yeah,
card.
Bobby Green's fighting Gerard Gordon. Yeah. We'll try and watch those fights to catch up, man. I mean, I'll definitely
where
watch
is
them. My sister's in
where is it
town
based?
from Wednesday. And I'm gonna be
Ah,
on vacation from Thursday. I'm on vacation. Well, vacation. I'm taking
nice,
time off basically from work. So
nice.
I'm gonna
Good
be.
man.
I'll keep you posted on when we can catch up. I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna make
yeah,
myself
yeah,
available sometime, but I'll let you know
yeah.
how the day goes, and we'll catch up about that.
Likewise, man. Likewise. Yeah, man.
All
Let's get
right,
it done. Thanks for watching,
cool.
everybody.
That's it, people. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch up on the next one. Peace.
Oof.
Oops. All right, let me get a picture, bro. Let me stop this recording. Get a picture.